Okay, everyone. Today is October 20th, 2022, and this is the Professional Services Committee meeting for ALCOSAN. And we will begin with a roll call. Ms. Prater? Well, you're on mute. At least we can't hear you anyway. That's muted. That shows you are unmuted, but we can't hear you.
So I'll go ahead and take the roll.
Oh, okay. All right.
Ms. Wilson,
Here.
Dr. Gilliam,
Present.
Representative Kincaid. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. We are going to move on to the agenda for information items. Our first information item is a request for qualifications for the wet weather pump station. Mr. Jackson, you want to give us an explanation?
Sure. Good afternoon. Thank you, Madam Chair. So in the long line of projects, at least from a plant construction, we've had North End, we've had cranes out there on the East Head Works. Recently, it was a CSO bypass. This wet weather pump station, it might be the crown jewel of all the projects that we do here. It certainly will be the most expensive. It likely will get the most attention from the professional services community. And from the perspective of the contractors, it's not often that you get to be part of a 150-foot deep pump station being constructed, not only regionally, but nationally. So this project will marry up everything that we're doing at the plant and also tie in a lot of the things with the tunnel. The tunnel will ultimately discharge to the station, and without stealing all of our thunder, I will pass it over to Director of Engineering and Construction, Kim Kennedy.
Thanks, Doug. You stole a lot of thunder. That's okay. So this is the next to the last actually project that needs to be designed for the full wet weather plant expansion. Over here, we've been working on this wet weather pump station concept for a long time. A lot of our projects to date have been to free up the area around the location where the pump station is going to be located, which will be on our campus. So it's probably at about a 20% design phase right now through the work that the wet weather plant expansion program manager has done. And we're ready to go out for the RFQ for a final design team. The RFQ should be released in November. It will be released in November for an award the first part of next year. And then we're looking to bid the project in conjunction with the Ohio River Tunnel separately, but they have parallel paths in 2024, and it needs to be in service and started up in 2029 with the ORT. So we're looking forward to moving this one along.
Thank you. All right, our second agenda, information item is another request for qualification for the construction management services for contract 1763 access shafts near A40 and the M49 interceptor junction. Mr. Douglas.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So when we come looking for construction management services, that usually means the design is pretty close to being done, or in a position where we need folks to oversee the construction. So it's been a while since we've talked about even what an access shaft is and what we use it for, but I'll let Mike Lishta, our Director of Regional Conveyance, give you a little bit more insight. Mike? You're muted, Mike. There you go.
Yeah, thank you, Doug, Madam Chair. Yeah, just to update the board, this project is for the installation of 2 access shafts, one out near the zoo on the Allegheny and the other one out on Cary Furnace. We conducted sonar inspections back in 2018, 2019 and found debris at these locations in our deep tunnel system. What access shafts are, they can be thought of as very big manholes, okay, 10 feet in diameter, some 70 to 80 feet deep. So these are fairly big structures. These shafts will be used predominantly conduct cleaning and maintenance at these locations, for this project. Our intent is to follow up with a cleaning contract or some maintenance contracts after these are installed. We're currently at 60% design on these access shafts, and we need to bring a CM on board to oversee the construction of these shafts. And we're anticipating bidding the project early next year.
Thank you. Pretty clear. All right, we're going to move now to action items. Item A is a motion to recommend a service authorization to Gannett Fleming for an amount not to exceed $294,553 to perform the scope of services for capital project S-472, which is the miscellaneous tank and demolition project. Mr. Jackson.
Madam Chair, back in September, if you recall, not that long ago, we came to the committee and the board looking for authorization to begin negotiations with Gannett Fleming for this project. This is one of those projects where things are in the way of the wet weather pump station. And with regard to a little bit of the scope and the negotiation, I will ask Kim Kennedy again to speak to this.
Thank you, Doug. So yes, after the September board meeting, we opened up the Gannett Fleming's cost proposal and started our negotiations with them. This project is important for a couple reasons. We need to free up the space for the future wet weather pump station, but we also have some tanks that just need to either they're no longer in use, or they need to be resized for more appropriate size for our existing use. So we're pretty excited about this, getting this one moving forward. It'll really kind of clean up some spaces that need to be cleaned up. Like I said, it's miscellaneous, so it's a little all over the place, but we are happy with this fee. I think that the negotiations are very successful, and we recommend moving forward.
Thank you. Any questions, Dr. Gilliam?
None from me.
Okay, then could I ask for a motion?
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We'll move on to item B is a motion to recommend the modification of service authorization 378 to Grant Thornton for work associated with the J.D. Edwards system upgrade for an additional 6 months, no cost extension of services. Mr. Jackson.
Madam Chair, Kim and Mike aren't the only ones that are needy. Finance and accounting also have needs. And I will ask our Director of Finance, Karen Fantoni, to speak a little bit to what the ask is here, but also to give a little bit of an update on what the J.D. Edwards system is, why we're doing it, and maybe a little bit on the progress of where things are.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Good afternoon, Madam Chair, Dr. Gilliam. Yes, accounting is needy. We don't come to you quite as often as some of the other directors, but we're quite mighty and vocal. Our J.D. Edwards program, that is, we are using it today, is 28 years old, or I should say 28 years young. And it is still, for the most part, working. We did get authorization last fall to upgrade because it will no longer be supported as far as the tax reporting for the employees' tax forms for the W-2s at year end. So that is why we came to you last year. We started this process back in the spring. And like everybody else, we've had some delays due to COVID. We have a project manager and 3 main contacts, one that handles our payroll, one that's been working on accounts payable and just our general accounting systems, and then one that is working with payroll. And all 3 of them have had health issues in the past year. So they've all been out for periods of time, no problems on their own. It's not the consultant's fault or anything like that, but the system has been delayed. We are actually in a pretty good position. We probably could go live before the end of the year. However, I made the call that I really don't want to try to put a new system in and turn the key right before year end. Anyone who's been through our year end reporting knows how tight our close is. Within 3 weeks after December 31st, I'm preparing full accrual financial statements. So, and then the audit typically starts the first week in February. So quite frankly, because we could not get it done in October, we elected to delay the go live date till mid-February. We're hoping to go live right around President's Day. That gives them a 3-day weekend to get all the data transferred over. But again, we've been very happy with the consultant. Grant Thornton has been very accommodating. They're not asking for any additional money at this point in time. That's not to say never is never, but our ask right now is just for a time extension that will take us up through the end of the first quarter of 2023. We're very excited about this new program. It's the same system. It's just shinier, newer, and Windows-based as opposed to our green screen. So if you really want to have a deep dive into this, I'll be more than happy to take you through my green screen any day. So and this will get rid of my green bar paper. So yes, we're very happy. So any questions, I will be more than happy to take those.
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, this passes. Item C, motion to recommend a modification of service authorization 364 to JMT for additional construction management and inspection services associated with repairs to the M42A connector sewer under contract 1726 for an amount not to exceed $171,000 and an additional 12 months, extending the completion date to August 31st, 2023. Mr. Jackson.
Madam Chair, we spared you from saying subaqueous, which is what we all know this is. It wouldn't be a month where we haven't had some briefing to the board of line breaks or other issues. This is the Sandcastle project that we're all familiar with. The committee should expect a presentation in the public session coming up next week that will share a little bit more. This is construction management work with the work associated with the activities there. I'd give it to Mike to give a little bit more insight of the need for perhaps a completion schedule on the work associated with this. Mike?
Yeah, thanks, Doug. Madam Chair, Dr. Gilliam. As you're aware, we have a fairly extensive emergency repair going on at Sandcastle. This request is for additional time and money for JMT to monitor their work, as well as process RFIs and review change orders. Also, the additional time, 12 months, it will be necessary to conduct project closeout. So even though we're going to probably finish well before that, we need additional time just to make sure the project is closed out properly and we have the proper, insurance and warranties and all that. So the contractor, I'll be updating you at the board meeting this month. He's made a lot of progress in the last 2 weeks. He's put in his footings for the culvert. He's currently putting in a mud mat along the stream bed to secure the new pipe too. So they're making a lot of progress. We've been pleased with the progress that's been made. I just sat in, just before this, I sat in on a session reviewing the arch culvert, which will go on top of the culvert, on top of the footer where we're doing the repair. So he's making a lot of progress, and we're very happy where we're at this point in time. So we recommend this additional extension.
Thank you so much. Okay, we don't have any questions, do we? No?
I kind of wanted to know about a mud mat. I'm over here Googling that.
Well, yeah, mud mat. Sorry, it's sort of a bottom that he's putting along the stream to better to support his pipe underneath. So it's sort of a foundation that is needed out there because the pipe did roll onto itself and collapse, and that was what initiated the problem. in the first place without a proper footing. So it's akin to basically a footing, a spread
Yeah,
footer.
interesting. Thank you. I think that might be my first time saying that in this context of what is it, subaqueous?
Subaqueous, yeah.
It's you. Look at
Now, see, we both said it.
chairperson. Chairperson in the waiting right there.
All right.
I'll make sure Mike has a mud mat photo of some sort for the public session next week.
Sure.
Yeah, I like that. All right. So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
That's carried. Item D is a motion to recommend the award of the on-call wastewater flow monitoring services under capital project S477 to ADS and to authorize the executive director to negotiate a fee. Mr. Jackson.
Madam Chair, we've been flow monitoring for a long time. We will continue to do flow monitoring for a long time. A lot of the basis of our clean water plan is based on getting metering data, defining performance of how projects unravel. We're in the next round of needs for a multi-year agreement, and I'll let Mike Lishta speak to this recommendation.
Thank you, Doug. Madam Chair, Dr. Gilliam, Representative Kincaid. As Doug stated, ALCOSAN conducts flow monitoring to support various programs. Flow monitoring was almost entirely used as the basis for developing our clean water plan. It is currently being used pretty extensively to support the Ohio River Tunnel design, as well as the GROW program. Tim uses this flow monitoring quite a bit during GROW. 3 firms submitted proposals. In the end, we felt that ADS Environmental provided the best technicians, best equipment, and best management oversight. ADS Environmental is a national firm. They own and sell their own flow meters. And in the end, the selection committee consisted of Tim Prevost, Joe Fedor, myself. We felt that they are best suited for this award. This procurement is for 3 years.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Gilliam?
No questions for me on this one.
Okay, thank you.
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. These 4 items will be recommended to the full board at our board meeting next week on October 27th for further action. I ask, do we have any new business this week?
Madam Chair, we do not.
Okay, well then, thank you all for your participating in today's meeting, and we will adjourn. Our next Professional Services Committee meeting will be November 14th. All right,
Thank you
bye
all.
all. Have a great day, the rest of the day.
Likewise. Thank you.